The sound of rain against the window was the only thing I could hear. It wasn't a gentle pitter-patter, but a relentless pounding, as though the sky itself were trying to tear through the world. Each droplet seemed to echo, carrying with it a sense of dread that crawled along my spine. I sat there, staring out the window, my eyes tracing the thin streams of water that ran down the glass, distorting the view of the empty street below. It was late, far too late for anyone to be out. No one but me. I didn't know why I stayed. The house had always felt strange, but tonight it was worse. The air was thick with an unnatural stillness, as if everything had been suspended in time. The usual creaks of the old house were gone, and in their place there was something else, something that lurked just beneath the silence. You see, I'm not one to believe in ghost stories or supernatural nonsense. I never have been. But tonight was different. The heavy weight of the storm outside, combined with the eerie stillness inside, was enough to make anyone question what was real. I had moved into this old house just a few months ago, and while the neighborhood was quiet, the house itself always seemed off. The walls felt too thick, the air too dense. It wasn't cold, but it never felt warm either. And no matter how many times I tried to shake the feeling, there was always something watching me, something waiting. I told myself it was just my imagination, nothing more, until tonight. The rain continued to fall in sheets, the kind of rain that felt almost suffocating. Every so often, a gust of wind would slam against the windows, rattling the panes as though something was trying to break in. I wasn't sure if it was the storm, or if it was the house itself trying to tell me something, but I felt a chill creep down my spine. I wasn't alone. I had never been alone, not really. That thought had haunted me since I first moved in, but it wasn't until tonight that I fully understood it. I stood up from the couch, my feet dragging across the cold wooden floor as I made my way toward the kitchen. The dim light from the overhead fixture cast long shadows across the room, making the space feel even more cavernous than it was. I could hear the rhythmic sound of the rain growing louder. But there was something else now. Something I couldn't place. A soft, whispering sound. At first, I thought it was the wind. Maybe a draft slipping through the cracks in the old house. But it wasn't. The sound grew clearer, more distinct. Words, just on the edge of comprehension. It was like someone was speaking, but their voice was muffled, like they were standing just behind me. But when I turned around, there was no one there. I froze. The voice. It was clear now, and it wasn't the wind, nor was it just my imagination. The voice was too distinct, too human. And yet, it wasn't. "Help me." The words were faint, barely audible over the rain, but they were there. A soft, desperate plea. My heart raced in my chest as I spun around, half expecting to see someone standing in the doorway. But there was nothing. Just the empty room, the shadows creeping along the walls like dark fingers. I took a deep breath, forcing myself to calm down. It was just the storm, I told myself. Nothing more. But then I heard it again. "Help me, please." The voice came from the hallway. It was louder now, almost as if it were right next to me. My blood ran cold as I turned toward the sound. The hallway, shrouded in darkness, seemed to stretch out forever, like it led into some unknown abyss. I wanted to move, to run, but my feet felt like they were glued to the floor. The whisper grew louder still. "Please, help me." And then I saw it. A figure. It was standing at the end of the hallway, bathed in the faint, flickering light from the kitchen. I could barely make out the shape, but I knew it was there. A silhouette. Tall, thin, and unnaturally still. The figure was facing me, but its features were obscured by the darkness. The longer I looked at it, the more I could feel its presence. It wasn't just a figure. It was something else, something ancient and wrong. My heart pounded in my chest as I felt an overwhelming urge to move, to run. But my body refused to obey. My mind screamed at me to get out, but my legs felt like they were made of stone. The figure didn't move. It just stood there, as though it was waiting for something. The whisper came again, louder this time, and I could almost feel it crawling into my ears. Help me! I didn't know what to do. I couldn't move, couldn't speak. I was frozen in place, my breath shallow, my skin clammy with cold sweat. The figure slowly took a step forward, and then another. Each step felt like a heavy weight against the silence, and with each step, the air seemed to grow colder. The temperature in the hallway dropped, the kind of chill that sank deep into your bones. A chill that wasn't just from the store.